So over the last 90 days, I've sold over $380,000 in USD. And in this video, I'm going to show you how as a beginner, you can actually start a very simple dropshipping store and scale up to 100k months, 150k months using this really simple 6-step formula. And we are going to be using AI to actually build a store. And to be honest, when I first was trying out this tool, I was super impressed by what this tool was able to help me do. If you have the same tools that I'm about to share with you, it's gonna be really easy for you to set up your first store. Because if you're someone that you don't really have much tech experience, you never actually saw anything online, and you're just unsure of how this works, this video is gonna give you a very brief overview of the strategy that you can use to start making your first sale really quickly. So let's just get right into it. So in terms of this strategy, there are really six steps that you have to follow. So the first step is creating a Shopify store with yourfirst.store. And I'm going to show you in a minute how that actually works. So this is actually an AI software that, to be honest, I just discovered like last week. And if I'm being really transparent, personally for me, I have a template that I follow that I don't really use. But I found out that this particular AI software is just really incredible. Like the kind of sophistication that they can create for you within like 5 minutes is just really amazing. And I'm going to show you how it actually looks and how it actually works. And of course, the second step is, setting up a Shopify store. The third step is actually, finding products to sell and adding up to 5 products in the store. And everything is gonna make sense later on as we actually go through this video, because I'm gonna break down like each step, and every single step is gonna stack on top of one another, and it's gonna make sense more and more. And then of course the fourth step is setting up your product page. The fifth step is creating your creatives and how you can actually reap other people competitors advertisements. Because to be honest, like with the way that we're doing dropshipping, everyone is using the same images that the supplier is providing. So you can say you're reaping it, or you can say that you're just using the images that the supplier is providing over there. And also using AI video ads, because they've been a really game changer in terms of using creatives on Meta. And then of course the last step is actually creating your Facebook ads and actually getting a first sale. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, I'm working with students, they actually haven't done dropshipping before. And using this strategy, they were able to actually make their first sale in less than 24 hours of launching their Facebook ad. So I'm very confident that if you do actually follow these 6 steps, you're going to have your first sale. Whether or not you're going to be profitable, whether or not you're going to make a full-time income, that's a very different story. That depends on how persistent you are. But let's just get right into it. So first thing first, you want to go to yourfirst.store, and then we can see over here, they have the sales page. We're going to click on build my free store. And I'm not going to go through every single step of this particular thing, because to be honest, I already have set up my account and everything. So everything's already set up. So after you are done inside the platform, so once you actually enter your email and enter your password, the first step that they're gonna ask you to do is to pick your niche. And for the niche, we're gonna focus on selling in fashion and apparel. So this is also how I teach my students, and this is what I found a lot of success in dropshipping. And this is how I was able to consistently do 100 or 150k a month over the last 6 months. Last month I didn't quite hit 100k. It was about 80k. But my numbers in general have been very consistent ever since we started to focus on fashion. So we're just gonna focus on that. So we're gonna click on update. And then you can just pretty much pick like any of these 2 banners. For me, I really like this one at the top right, and this top left and then the bottom right. So we're just gonna click that one. And then you want to set up your Shopify store. And for this, I already have set up. You want to link everything. Let's see. So once you're done linking everything, you're gonna it's gonna generate a website template for you. And right now, this is like the most basic. I haven't really made any changes to the website, so I want to show you what you can actually do with this particular AI software. And just to be transparent with you guys, I'm not in any way affiliated with this guy. I just saw like a few YouTubers sharing this tool, and I tried it out myself. I thought it's really amazing, and I want to share with you. He was able to create this really cool website. To be honest, it's really insane. I'm just gonna scroll a bit. I won't say it's perfect, because obviously there are many things that you can you can change in terms of like the wordings. Also, if you're selling in a different country, if you're choosing to sell in like a different language, maybe in like German, Spanish, or whatever, maybe you gotta translate the website. That's we're gonna get that later on once we actually start to find products to sell. But for now, you can see the website is set up really nice, and then we want to really go onto the product page, because this is the most important part of your website. Because when your customers actually click on advertisement on Facebook, which is how we're going to use to advertise, they're gonna be sent onto product page, and 80% of the time, the decision is gonna make on the product page. They're not really gonna browse around, although some customer might. But most of the time, they're just gonna look at a product page and they're gonna see the description and they're gonna decide right there and then whether or not they're gonna buy the product. So you can see, this product is literally automatically created through this AI software. I didn't import anything, so this is like the most default like template. And obviously later on, I'm gonna show you how you can pick products to sell and how you can actually import it. But for now, this is what we're working with in terms of the general framework of the website. So you can see, very simple headline, very simple, nice 3 bullet point, which is how I always have my website. And they even have like a bundle as well, built-in bundle, which is really good. Nice testimonial over here. It's just like a very simple website, lots of like social proof, limited time sale. But to be honest, I don't really like this. It's a bit like, hard to read. I mean, it's a bit too flashy for me. But in general, I really like the way that the website looks because it there's a lot of testimonials. And it just looks really clean to me. That's like the kind of vibe that I really like when I'm building my Shopify store. So this is how you can set up your first store. Really simple. And the next step that we're gonna go on is to actually find products to sell, and I'm gonna show you how you can actually do that. So before we actually jump into finding products to sell, there are a few things that you gotta take note when you're setting up a Shopify store. So firstly, of course, you need to add your business details and your domain. Just go into settings and set up your name. Choose a domain, and for the domain name, you wanna choose something which is gonna be like simple, and also ideally, if you're selling, like for example in the United States, you can add like the capital of the country in your domain name. So for example, if you're selling in the United States, it could be something like texasfashion.com, texascheck.com. This way it's gonna create a lot of like trust in your website. So of course you want to set up your payment providers such as like Shopify payments, PayPal, setting up the shipping and all the essential webs and all the legal pages. So I'm not really gonna go in depth with this. If you wanna know more in depth about how we can actually set up a Shopify store, we actually have a course for beginners where we teach you how to actually go from step A to step Z. You can click on the description in my in the description below. Go to the sales page and see what we actually offer in our course. The next step is actually doing a product research and adding 5 products. So the first thing that I want to discuss is why we actually choose fashion. Because in terms of like fashion, right, what I really like about it is there's a very big market for it. And the second thing is also it's really, really easy to find products to sell. Because with fashion, you have like infinite products to sell. Every single day, there's like tens of thousands of new designs being launched every single day. A lot of products. Very easy to test as well. Very easy to create like creatives. You can just use literally the image that the suppliers provide. You can use AI images, which I'm going to show you in a second. And how you actually find products is really simple. I'm going to walk you through like how I actually do it. So you're going to go into Facebook ad library, right? So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do a product research on Facebook ad library, and basically you can just search for facebook.com/ads/library, and you're gonna find this basically catalog of ads that you can research to see the different ads that your competitors are launching. And what we're actually able to do is because in the EU region they have this transparency law, whereby every single advertiser are required to share how much impressions they are getting through their advertisements. And through a software such as Ad Library Cloud, they're able to translate these impressions into an estimated ad spend. So we're able to basically see how much our competitors are spending your ads. And this way, we can find winning products that have already been validated by other people and we just sell that. And this is literally our strategy that we have been using to find winning products. And I know some people may think that, oh wow, you're just copying what other people are doing. There's no innovation. And to be honest, at first I thought the same as well. It's like, damn, I'm just copying what everyone's doing. There's no innovation. I didn't really like it. But I saw the kind of results that my mentor was getting. He was doing like 300K, 400K, 500K, 600K months. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to do the same because he's doing well and obviously it works. So I've been doing the same thing and this strategy has been working really well for me. This is literally how I find like almost 90-95% of products, just like looking at what articles are selling, taking the same ideas and then just launching it. So in order to find these different terms and competitors, right, I'm gonna give you an idea. So you can use a tool such as DeepL Translator, and you can search for these different keywords in the local country that you're trying to do a product research on. So obviously Germany is just one example, but you can use such as Italy, France, Spain. So you can use different search terms such as free shipping, which translates into Kostenlonzer Vosen. Sorry if I pronounced it wrongly. But basically just searching for these different keywords in their local language. And then when you go in the library, you search and then you just scroll and browse. Soon enough, you're gonna find different competitors that are actually launching their ads and actually scaling. And in this example, I already have found a few competitors from my product research list. And we can see that these particular guys, they have a bunch of different ads, right? For example, this particular ad spent about $11,800 and they launched it on the 6th December. This one was about 6,400. This one was about 2,300 to 800. So basically, point being is these guys, they are doing fairly well. Probably doing anywhere from like maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 to 50K a month in sales, possibly. So, but any point being is, we have a competitor right now and we can start doing a product research. So the first product you can see, for example, over here is this Ilera bikini. So actually I sold this product as well. This is like a very common fashion dropshipping product. And the thing is also because when we are doing fashion, seasonality is very important. And the next season is gonna be spring, like winter going to spring. So people are starting to shop for, bikinis, because they wanna go swimming in spring. So that's a really good idea. And for example, this product as well, which was pants, they are also doing really well with it. And just like that, we found two products and let's see if we can find another one. And then this is another trousers as well. So obviously trousers are doing really well for these guys. And what I'm basically doing is, number one, I'm looking at how much ad spend their advertisements have gotten in relation to the amount of advertisements they have and the amount of advertisements they're spending on average. So obviously this product, they're scaling, they have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and probably like a bunch of different advertisements they're running. So for a fact that they are scaling this product because they have so many different creatives. So this is definitely like a big winning product. And that's a product that I'm actually gonna test. And then the second one is this one because it was also spending quite a bit. And the third one is also this one because it's spending quite a bit. So basically I'm just saying that, okay, you know what, whatever products they are selling successfully, I am just gonna literally replicate it, best those products. Because the thing is like, you're not trying to find a product, you're not trying to like say make 6 figures from a product. With this particular strategy I'm teaching you, and later it all makes sense when we are launching in the ads manager, we are focusing on a volume-based approach and we are launching a bunch of products every single day. That's why we're saying, at the start, you want to launch and import 5 products in the store. And every single day, you're going to be adding 5 to 10 new products into your advertising campaign without increasing the budget. So this way you have a bunch of ads and this way you're kind of like focusing on scaling horizontally rather than scaling like one product to like maybe like, 5, 10K a day. You could be scaling like maybe 10 to 20 products into like 5, 6K a day. So this way, there's just like so much more consistency because we're focusing on having a volume of products rather than scaling one, really, really high. So right now, I want to discuss a little bit about product page and how you can actually set it up using ChatGPT and AI. So for us, right, we found a few products to sell. And let's imagine that we want to create a product page for this particular product that we have found from our competitor. And you can see, how typically dropshipping fashion stores, to be honest, a lot of them, they look the same. Don't ask me why. It's just how it is. They use the same theme. And I'm not gonna lie, they work. You don't need you don't need to have like a really complicated store. You really want to keep things simple. And to be honest, like what I found to actually work really well for me is just finding competitors that are scaling. And then they're just trying to basically replicate my store of them. Obviously not copying like word by word, but you wanna maybe like have the similar design, the similar way the product page is set up. So I wanna walk you through a little bit about this particular product page because we know for a fact that this is probably like a B or even A winning product. Maybe they have made maybe anywhere from 70 to 100K in total sales from this one product, very likely somewhere around the region. So first thing first, they have this like 5 different bullet points. But to be honest, I don't really kind of like where this is located. I would prefer if it's like above the variants, and I would honestly prefer if like the add to cart button is closer towards the variant option, because it's kind of weird, right? If I'm pressing like the different colors and I'm choosing what to buy, I wanna click on add to cart immediately. So I'll prefer that to be closer to the variant selector. And to be honest, I also don't really have this particular I don't really like using bundles in general. I don't really find that it did help me to increase the average order value. For me, most of the time I noticed that even without the bundles, customers are still gonna buy too, and I don't really like how it looks on my website. So to be honest, for my websites, I don't really have the bundles. But this particular different bullet points, I think it's fair. But I think having 5 over here, it's a bit too. I'll prefer to have like 3, if I were to choose. And then obviously you have like some nice trust badges here. Very simple, scarcity, like up to limited stock, size to sell quickly. Because the thing is, you also gotta consider that most of the customers that you're gonna be selling to, they are boomers basically. They're not very tech savvy. So if you tell them like, oh, limited stock, they're gonna be like, oh wow, this is actually like a limited offer. They don't know that you are dropshipping. They have no idea that this is all just like basically a fast. So in terms of the product page wise, I really like this GIF over here. If you can have a GIF on your product page, obviously that would be really good. Because like what I noticed is GIF, like showing how the products look like from different angles, especially something like this. They tend to increase your conversion rate. So I really highly recommend that. And then just like very simple, a few different bullet points telling them about what the product does. Obviously, all of this you can just use ChatGPT, to be honest with you. And then shipping information. And what I really like about this is they have different testimonials. This one looks AI, to be honest. The one on the left. This one looks kind of real. This one I'm not too sure. But yeah, people just use AI and whatever to make these different images. Money back guarantee with a little bit of like these AI images as well. This trust pilot thing, I don't like it, to be honest, because I think it's fake, and you don't really want to have like fake trust pilot reviews on your website. I just think that can land into some trouble, so I wouldn't really recommend that. So obviously, when you first created a store, such as how we have over here with an example, it's gonna look very different from like say our competitor, because the thing is, we don't exactly need to copy after our competitor, but we can basically use the website and kind of like model after it. So what else can we change on this website, right? We can perhaps add like some sort of scarcity, like underneath here. Obviously the trust badge, we're not gonna use Klarna. We're not gonna use a few other payment methods here. So it's really unnecessary. And then you could also add like a GIF over here, and maybe just add some like bullet points of what a product does. And yeah, basically, you wanna kind of like revamp it a little bit from like the original AI made product page. And I'm not really gonna go in and show you how to do it, because it's kind of a drag, to be honest. But I just want to show you like the overall picture of how you can actually do it. So now we know how to find products to sell. You know to focus on a niche, which is fashion. You know how to actually go into ad library, find winning products. The next step is creating your creatives, and this is actually really important, because what you'll find is one of the biggest lever when it comes to e-commerce is creating good creatives. Because these are basically the first touch point that a customer have with you, and that will basically make them decide whether or not they want to go into a website. So it's really very important for them to basically to create if possible, create like really good creatives to increase the chances of your customer clicking through on the ad, go on their website where they will be pre-framed to buy the product. So there are basically like 2 different kind of creatives that I make. The first one is AI video ads, and these are basically your own original content. You can take like a very simple image of the product you're trying to sell, and these images can be like literally from the supplier. AliExpress, they have like a lot of good images. These Chinese guys, they also use AI to regenerate these different images, and you can also use AI to regenerate it. And I'm going to show you in a second how you can actually use Higgsfield AI to create really good creatives. The second kind of creative is just like creatives that are using from your supplier or even from your competitor. So these are basically what people call like rip ads. And for this one, you gotta be a little bit careful, because for example, if they have like a logo or like a trademark, typically I won't use it because I don't want to run into any copyright issues. Typically I only want to use creatives that basically, which I feel it's not gonna run into like any copyright issues. Maybe just like the same supply image that everyone is using. Or you could even actually, what I like to do is you can make like a click ad. So basically you take like you take like the product. For example, if you have like a image ad, you can just show the half of the image, the front, and then the other half of the image, which is the back of the product. So you're just showing like different portions of the product. Or you can even show like different, colors, and you can basically have like maybe like 4 different variation, like black in the top left, white in the top right, blue in the bottom left, purple in the bottom right. So you create like a click ad. These ads also, they tend to work really well. But basically just like, you can find this content from your supplier. So if you actually go into our if you actually go into the supply into our competitor, the one that we're following earlier, for this particular product example, we're gonna use this bikini over here. So in this case, right, they don't really have any image or any creatives that I'll use, because all these different ads you can see, they pretty much use AI, and then they slap on like a little they slap on a caption with the German words. So obviously we're not gonna be using it, because number one, our target market is not Germany, unless you're selling in Germany. But even then, I wouldn't really recommend it, because if they have no logo, I think it's fine. But still, they have the copyrighted sound in the background and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't really recommend it. So there are really no creatives that I'll probably take from this competitor. Let me just go and see, because we're gonna be creating 3 different creatives. For the first creative, you could use something like maybe something like this, or you can create like a carousel ad, something like this. The first ad, the first slideshow, the second slideshow, the third slideshow, the fourth slideshow, the fifth slideshow. Yeah, you basically can think of like different ways of showing the product, and and eventually, as you do this more and more, you test more and more products, you're gonna start to develop a sense of like which are the kind of creatives which will likely convert the best, and this really comes with experience. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about how you can actually do the AI video ad. So when it comes to making AI video ads, actually before that, right, first off, I've noticed lately, for dropshipping stores especially, and also for my own stores, AI video ads have really been working really well. And these are like really simple video ads, which I'll show you in a second. For the AI video ads, I use this tool called Higgsfield.ai. And basically what you want to do is you want to use like a source image, for example, something like this, like a black bikini. And for the prompt, no, it's a pretty long one. I'm just gonna really briefly. Situation: you're creating a product showcase video designed to drive purchase decisions through visual demonstration. The video will feature a person walking while displaying the product, with the primary focus being the product itself rather than the person or environment. Blah 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 blah. If you guys want the entire prompt, you can just send me a message on Instagram at gary.lwq or in Discord. My socials are in the YouTube description below. So with that, you can see like the end result. So it's like a really simple and a short AI video. You could maybe make it a bit longer, like 10 seconds. But yeah, notice like this kind of simple AI video ads, they've been working really well. And even if you see the competitor earlier, right? If you notice, actually a lot of ads that are using AI video ads. For example, this one is a AI video ad, which they just basically like, they just slap on like some German words on it, like a caption, it's like a very simple AI video caption. So yeah, it has been working really well for me, for people who are doing fashion in general. So the final step is gonna be launching on Meta. And if you actually follow all the steps, which is creating a website using the AI tool, making sure that it actually looks nice, somewhat similar to a competitor that's already doing well. You can use that to model after your website. You find products using the guideline that I use, and you create a creatives, 3 different creatives for one product using what I just shared earlier, followed by this meta strategy starting with just $50 per day. Even if you are someone that have never gotten any sales before, I can promise you that you will get your first sale really relatively quickly. So we have quite a few students that have who haven't really done any commerce before, and they follow this exact same strategy, and they were able to get their first sale within like 1 or 2 days. So this strategy is it's really easy to get sales initially. So what you want to do is basically I'll just go inside a little bit to my ad account. I don't really want to reveal too much, show too much, because this ad account we are still running right now. But what you want to do is just basically you want to create a campaign, make sure you set up the pixel and everything correctly. And then obviously, set up the start date. You want to start it at 12 a.m. of. So for example, right now it's like March 8, 1:17 a.m. I'll probably start it at like March 9, 12 a.m. right, or whatever the time is. And then for the country, we have the whatever country you're selling to, whether it's like Hong Kong, Australia, Canada. Typically, we try to just focus on targeting one country at a time. I find it to work the best. So once you already have 5 products set up, you're gonna have to prepare at least 15 ads, which is like 3 ads per product. Then you basically just want to launch all the ads into this one campaign. starting at just $50 per day, right? $50 per day. What you want to do is basically, right, once you launch every single ad into just one ad set, starting at just $50 per day, every single day you want to launch 5 new products and 15 ads. So this strategy is a bit labor intensive, meaning you gotta constantly find products. You gotta constantly find products to and then to add into your store. You gotta find you gotta make creatives for it and everything. So at the start, it's a lot of front end work. But this strategy is what I find is really consistent on like a month-to-month basis. And also to basically mitigate the work, once you start becoming profitable, I recommend my students to also, hire level 2 assistants. And right now for me, I have like a team of six that is helping me with like the ads launching, the setting up a store, not setting up stock, but more so like the uploading the products, uploading the ads and everything, and then it just becomes really easy for me. So at the start, it's a bit of a grind because you're gonna be launching products every single day, and it's gonna take some time at the start. And but the really cool thing is the starting cost is really low because we're just starting at $3 per day with just one market. And what the other thing is also, once your campaign is profitable, like say you run at $3 per day and you found a few winning products from this strategy, then you can just increase the budget, like double the budget every 48 hours. So that's what I typically do, like after 48 hours, if the return on advertising spend is above 2.5, I would just like increase the budget to like from $50 to $100, and then repeat the same thing until it stops making that much profits. So this is basically the 6 steps. If you want to have like a more in-depth video about how you can actually launch like the meta and everything, I actually make a video it's all on YouTube. I created like a free playlist, it's a link below, where I actually go more in depth about the product research, setting up a website, about creating your creatives, not really creating your creatives, but more so like setting up your meta account, although I do make videos about creating creatives as well. Everything's a link below. And if you're interested in really going in depth with this strategy, you want to actually work with me and my mentor, who is like crushing e-commerce, who did like $3.8 million last year. Absolutely insane. Yeah, you can apply in the link description to join our school community, where you get one-to-one access to us, the full course, and basically like everything that you need to know to become successful with dropshipping. And just one of our students who actually started about 3 months ago, like this month he's closed. Last month he made about 7 to 8K net profit within like 3 months of starting this strategy. So this shit works. And if you're new to my YouTube channel as well, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.